Hey there everyone, it's GG Sober Sun, just out here hanging with the seagulls. Oh, did that one just almost trip over? April 16th. Hopefully it's not too windy. In AA, we have insurance. Our faith in God is a kind of insurance against the terrible things that might happen to us if we ever drink again. I get it. By putting our drink problem in the hands of God, we've taken out a sort of insurance policy which insures us against the ravages of drink, as our home are insured against destruction by fire. Am I paying my AA insurance premium regularly? Well, I think the cross analogy is not doesn't fit, but I don't mean to be too pedantic about that. Oh, so there's a lady that comes out here and feeds these seagulls, and I think now they expect everybody who comes out here to feed them, so hopefully they don't poop on me. But we'll take that in our stride. Yeah, so I thought the reading was going to say, that we have insurance against terrible things that might happen in our lives, and that's not true. We experience all the same things that other people have, but the program of action, the program of recovery provides a level of resilience that I certainly was never equipped with prior to coming to AA. I hope that makes sense. Like, I always felt like everybody got the manual on how to do life, and I wasn't given the manual, kind of thing. But I was expected to know what was in the manual. And so when the trials of life happened, whether it was peer rejection in middle school, whether it was a breakup, whether it was, a romantic relationship breakup, or death in the family that I experienced later on in life. My dad passed away when I was about 6 years in my, almost 7 years sober. Life happens, and we're not promised a perfect, painless life, but with a relationship with God and maintaining that relationship by way of, yes, daily prayer and meditation, as it talks about in the 11th step, but also spending time with other recovered alcoholics and recovering alcoholics. That's why I love clubhouses so much, like Alano here in Fort Walton Beach is the Alano Club of 52 Beale Parkway, Southeast, I can't remember what it is, Southeast, West, blah, blah, blah. But it's a wonderful place to experience a lot of newcomers, because you get the people that have their judge's nudge. They get the judge's nudges, have to get their sheet signed, so they're required to go to AA meetings, a certain amount of AA meetings. And so whether they're there voluntarily, or whether they end up deciding, hey, this is the place for me, you get to see a lot more people come in, and people who may have come in at one time with a judge's nudge and a sheet to sign, and then go out for years after they get out of hot water and then come back later. I've seen a few of those recently. And it's just wonderful, you know, to be able to go, oh, I don't recognize you. Hey, I'm, you know, introduce yourself and tell them it's going to be okay. You know, not everybody comes in with, as my buddy Waddell says, with their chin on the ground. You know, can't even hardly hold their head up. Not everybody comes in that way, but that's okay too. But those are easy to spot. And that's where you can see where, you know, in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession you have, because you can go, hey, I know that look. My buddy Dave said one day, he came out of a meeting and he was like one of the last ones to leave. And there was a guy sitting there in his car with his head down and kind of looking forlorn. And he walks up and he knocks on the window and says, "You want to talk about it?" And he goes, "How did you know?" You know, it's just, we know these things because we've been there, you know. Not that we're the only ones that can help, but we can see how our experience can benefit others. That is the point of recovery. And that's the insurance. We can see how our experience can benefit others, and that in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession we have. So that, you know, if I think I graduated from AA, which I did at one point in my recovery, I sell myself short, and I sell God short as well, because in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, it can be a place where I go full of people, and I can sit there and pick everything and everyone apart, and I can judge, and I can look at what, you know, our differences rather than our similarities, or I can acknowledge the fact that they're God with skin on, and God speaks to me, good examples and bad, through the people of Alcoholics Anonymous and other people in my life as well, when I get into the habit of seeing them that way in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and other 12-step recovery. There's several that I qualify for, and one of them is adult children of alcoholics, adult children anonymous, of dysfunction and whatnot. So that's helpful to know. Meditation for the day. I must try to love all humanity. Love comes from thinking of every man or woman as your brother or sister, because they are children of God. This way of thinking makes me care enough about them to really want to help them. I must put this kind of love into action by serving others. Love means no severe judging, no resentments, no malicious gossip, and no destructive criticism. It means patience, understanding, compassion, and helpfulness. And that, you know, I love how it differentiates. No severe judging, definitely no resentments, no malicious gossip, because we, you know, I think it is in the family afterwards where it says we do talk about our other members frequently, you know, but invariably it's couched in love, you know, and concern and compassion and understanding, because we've been there. Again, compassion and helpfulness. And one of the worst experiences I've been through was right after I worked in a rehab facility, and there were a few folks who were, well, they were dry. They were abstinent from their drug of choice, and they were employees there. And they were some of the harshest critics of the patients. And I just couldn't understand it, but then I realized they aren't going to meetings. They think that working at a rehab facility is the same as going to meetings. And it was obvious that that was insufficient. So anyway, prayer for the day. I pray that I may realize that God loves me, since He is the Father of us all. I pray that I in turn may have love for all His children. And I get it. Some people have an issue with giving the supreme conscience, the spirit of the universe, a gender. I get it. But it's perhaps an old way of saying that we're all connected. We are all connected in some form or another. And to say that we're all children of the light, all children of the universe, whatever you want to call it, it's the same thing. It really is the same thing. And yes, do we have to use ancient terminology from the ancient Judeo-Christian literature? No, we don't. I don't think God gets too hung up on that. I don't think the spirit of the universe gets too hung up on that. It's more about a feeling in the spirit anyway. So keep coming back. Thanks for letting me share. I love y'all. Look up, aim up, rise up.